1 beer down and 2 to go, a can tossed from the window, a foot on the pedal, his mouth to the metal. He choked on his barley and rye. The lights were such sights for his sore eyes. With a flick of his wrist, the lights dimmed to the darkness of the mist. Gripping onto the wheel with such force, speed became the moment of his source. Fuck her! Jeremy cried. His first ballad, he punched the dash, only to find that he changed the station. Life just couldn't get any worse. Just today, he lost his job, and while coming home, he found another man in bed with his wife. And now, a good song, lost in the frequencies of his own stupidity. Thumbing for the tune, his eyes drifted from the road. Don't leave me too, Jeremy whispered as his fingers slipped past the dial. Reaching for the headlights, his eyes jerked forward. A dark silhouette in the middle of the windshield raced towards his car. With the twist of his fingers, an array of white shined in the faces of his wife. Emma! Jeremy shouted. The car thumped and rocked side to side. With 2 feet on the brake, his heels dug into the floorboard as a red flashed into his eyes from the shine of his rearview mirror. He kicked open the door and flung himself out onto the road. It can't be you. I killed you and your mutt, Jeremy screamed. Walking slowly around his car, he noticed that he didn't have any damages and neither a body of any type to be found. Jeremy walked back to his car, his seat warm and wet. He nestles back into position, slamming the door behind him. While he adjusts the mirror, the radio broke into an emergency broadcast. This just in, escaped mental patient on the loose. 2 dead. Fugitive wearing a woman's blouse and the skin of his victim. Do not approach. He is armed and dangerous. I repeat, armed and dangerous. Glancing to his left and then to his right, Jeremy changed the station. Ha ha ha! What idiots. I'm going to get away with this scot-free. Some retard is going to get the book thrown at him for what I've done. Revving the engine, Jeremy thrusts the gears into drive while smoke boiled beneath his tires. A few miles down the road and 120 on the speedometer, a cop appears from behind. Blue lights and sirens wailed for him to pull over. Shit! Jeremy thought. Keep calm. It will all be over soon. Let him give me a ticket and I'll be on my way. A flashlight tapped the car window. Could you roll down your window, please, sir? What seems to be the problem, officer? With a pen in hand, paper followed as the officer began to write. License and registration. Jeremy reached for his glove compartment and saw his gun on the floorboard. Not to bring any attention to it, he quickly opened the glove box and grabbed his registration. Mr. Barnes, do you know how fast you were going? Jeremy tried to remember, but the thought of getting caught clouded his mind. No, officer, I don't, but I bet you're gonna tell me. The officer turned his flashlight and looked inside the car window. Have you been drinking tonight, sir? The officer asked. His hands cupped his face to get a better look in the back seat. No, officer, I haven't, Jeremy said with a smile of confidence to follow. The officer turned towards Jeremy and stared right into his eyes. What about her? Asked the officer with a scorned look of fear. Jeremy sat still. Twisting towards the back seat, a knife ran against his throat. Looking in the face of his wife, he noticed her eyes weren't the same color as before. With her skin welted and withered, blood dripping from the cracks of her lips. A smile emerged from her floppy flesh and a deep voice and said, What's wrong, honey? Don't you love me anymore?